I had a really great question about how I manage risk with my orb trade, especially when I'm trying to use it in a prop account that has really limited drawdown. So I'm going to share with you exactly how I do that. And I think you're really going to like this method. So stick with me. It's a little bit different than you've probably learned from other people. But this has made an absolute life-changing difference in my trading because I use the same risk management calculation when I'm placing other types of trades as well. And especially because a really mechanical trade like this can really test your patience. I swear it's Murphy's Law of trading. When you first start a really mechanical trade like this, it loves to go on a little losing streak and really test your patience before it starts paying off. So managing that risk is super, super important. The other thing I want to point out really quick, because this is really important with these opening range breakout trades, is they work best when we're in a really volatile market. So right now we've got Trump in the White House, and there's been a lot of tariff talk. There's been Greenland talk, Russia. There's a lot going on. So the market's been very volatile. And so it has that fuel to break out, which is what we need for a breakout trade. When things are a lot slower, some other strategies that capture these slow movements are going to work a lot better when we don't have that nice volatile breakout follow through in the market. All right, now let me take you to NinjaTrader, and this is a 5-minute MES, so the micro E-mini S&P 500 futures. And this is a little orb wrangler indicator that I have that just plots this for me. But I'm not going to go into full detail about the rules of the trade because I have an entire playlist for that. But basically, I'm looking at the first 15 minutes of the New York Open for my opening range. And then I'm just literally looking for that breakout. I don't wait for the retest. Go watch my videos. I get right in and I target a 1-to-1. So the first thing I need to do is measure this opening range. It's really hard to do in the morning. I know that's why I have some automations that help me do this. This is today's chart. It just happened to be showing off. It's been showing off really well the last couple of weeks, but the high of the first 15 minutes, which on this 5-minute chart will be the first 3 candles, was 70.2175, and the low was 69.8250. So that opening range was 39.25 points. So here's the way I look at this. In a prop account, you have to be really conservative with how much risk you're willing to take. So in a smaller account, like a $50K, I might only risk $300 per trade. In a larger account, 100K, 150K, I might be able to risk $500 per trade. So let's say that I can risk $500 with my trading plan. We have this 39.25 point range. Let's just call it 40 points because we need to be able to do some quick mental math here. Now, the way I think about this is with the MES micros, every 10 points is worth $50. So this is a 40-point range. That's 4 10s, 4 50s. It's a $200 range per contract. So if I'm allowing $500 of risk per trade, then I can take 2 contracts and still be within my trading plan of risking up to $500 per trade. Now, I told you we're using micros, and that's really important. I know we want to trade the minis. It feels really great when we get those really big profits, but if you want to be able to fit this in a smaller account, you really need to have a little bit more wiggle room where you can do some math like this and tailor this to the account that you're actually trading. Micros are really perfect for this because we can really tailor it to the account. So maybe I'm in a smaller account, like a 50K, and I only want to risk $300 per trade. So I have my 40-point range. It's a $200 range. My limit's $300. That means I can only take 1. Now, some of y'all have really freaked out as NASDAQ traders, especially when you're looking at my videos in April and May, and today's being a good example too, where we are having a really volatile day. So the NASDAQ is putting in a massive range. I see it in the comments all the time. Oh, 100-point range. Oh no, a 200-point range. Well, look at this one. This is a NASDAQ. It is 231.25 points wide. So how are you going to manage this with a stop that wide? You're not going to use NQ, you're going to use MNQ. And of course, with this wide of a range, that's a really expensive trade. So the stop on this range, this 231 plus point range here is $462, a little bit more than that technically. So this is a really massive range. If I was willing to risk $500 per trade, I could take this trade. If I was in my smaller 50K account and my risk was $300, I wouldn't be able to take this trade today. But the thing is, this trade sets up a lot, so you'll have another opportunity, and you really have to keep yourself out of the FOMO on this one. This isn't an ad, but this does get asked. I'll show you exactly how I do this since this all happens really fast. I use NinjaTrader, so I programmed an automation to help me take this trade. I do have it available at bullbarbie.com. You don't have to do it. You could make your own. You could use somebody else's. I like mine, and these are the settings. But the way I do it is I have my risk built right in. I'll have a max quantity, how many times I'll let the trade enter, if I'm going to let it re-enter later on in the day, and some other things like that. But the most important thing to me here is the max risk. And it's not going to take the trade if that NASDAQ trade, for instance, was too far outside of the risk parameters to allow that trade. But it'll make sure I get in the right quantity of micros to make sure that I can do this trade and actually take advantage of it, since we are having a really great environment for these opening range breakout trades right now. If you want to know all of the exact rules and everything that I use with my orb trades, I have a video right here that'll be great for you. And then a lot of questions and kind of nuances have come up. And of course, I'm always looking to improve and adapt the trade. So I've ended up with an entire playlist if you really want to geek out on this trade. If you want to really geek out with us about it, we have a free Discord, the Trading Ranch. You're welcome to come join us. And we have a lot of other trade ideas and other things going on there as well. So I hope to see you there. Thanks for joining me today. Love you. Bye.